show out, but I will check to see if there's anything going on YouTube. But doesn't
Not
look.
the tube,
Yeah,
Jamal. Not the
tube looks
tube.
down, Sister Sherry. The tube looks down. Let's just check this out because we want to make sure that everyone has access to the favorite morning talk show, right? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure for me, if it was me, I'll be. I'm sure people are doing refreshing it, refreshing
I think we're good. I think we're on the tube now. We're on the tube. We're on the tube.
it.
Woo! Yeah, Gary. I mean, I thought they weren't going to have a chance to see your rude self, talk about people's height and stuff this morning. You know how you are.
There you go. There you go. You just needed some tubers to get in front of. There you go.
Right.
Because you was all sweet to me right before then, but that's all right, Jamal.
I'm still, I'm,
Um,
I'm still very nice. Sherry, folks, Sherry was all doledy doled up this weekend, and I had to ask who
you
gave her permission to go out. Tell us about your weekend, Sherry, please.
You noticed that,
Mm,
because you don't always notice things; they just go over your head. But
mm,
in this particular instance, it was right in front of you.
mm,
I had a great weekend. My significant other, he had a birthday on Friday, so we celebrated the whole weekend. He likes to try to remind me that he has until the end of the month for this birthday, since I like to take the whole month and celebrate. So I just have to go along with whatever the plan is. But yeah, we went out to dinner on Saturday with a few of our other friends, and it was awesome. And I looked great. Hat, wig, lashes, like it was a lot.
You know, I must say, I love to see people living their lives on weekends, man. Not just weekends, but living a life. No, I always go on a rant about this as of late, but you know how I feel about that 5 day work week. So I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I love to see people, every weekend somebody's like, oh, I can't wait to the weekend. And then they end up doing chores all weekend and no downtime. And I saw a tweet
Jamal,
and I was just like, we have all these other things we should be worrying about. And they included the 5 day work week. And I'm just like, more people are catching on.
well, Jamal, we definitely had a relaxing weekend. I'm a believer on your birthday you shouldn't work, um, and so I take off for his birthday too because I just think it's my day as well. Like we end this together, and I should have that day off as well. So we just relaxed. We really did. That wasn't necessarily planned, but that's what it turned out to be. Which,
Mm,
if as long as he's happy with whatever he plans on his day, I'm happy.
okay. More like Sherry, folks. More like Sherry. That's all I'm gonna say. Good morning to you, Suzanne Ingman. She says, "Good morning, Jamal." Which Jamal with me. Um, I
Yeah,
love the
good,
show,
Jamal.
but I get upset because I need more than 1 hour with you, Maya, Raj, and guest. Thank you for the hour I do get, but I want more of the daily hour.
Oh, wow.
People used to always say they need more than 1 hour when I was doing a previous show, and I'm just like, you'd get bored of me if I went more than 1 hour every day. Trust me, I would bore your life. But I appreciate you. Honestly, we thank you for your support and
Suzanne, I talk to him more than 1 hour a day, and you don't want that,
yeah,
honey. You don't want to sign up for that.
yeah, you
You
gotta
don't.
stop answer me when I text them, folks. I'm like I just give them the eyes. They be like, yes, Jamal. What, Jamal? All of them, all of them. No, no good ones. Anyway, welcome to greetings, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as we discuss. Well, we're going to discuss a couple things. First, there was some flooding in Bermuda last week, and quite a few people had comments about the drainage system. If it's not one thing like the roads, it's the drainage system, and it was very dangerous. Some people even pulled out what's this thing, the kayaks and stuff, to row their asses to work and so on. So no life jackets at all. I guess with Bermuda's situation, people should probably carry life jackets in their cars, but we'll talk about that. But we also want to discuss the role of local news and media because I think people, Teo and I used to talk about this a lot back in the day, and people used to say, "Oh, you guys are not supposed to be biased." The hell, we can be biased. We're not named Maya Palacio. She does her job damn well, but we can be. However, admittedly, is it in the best interest of our audience if we are, right? So we'll discuss that as well. The Daily Play is a who said it, and
Oh gosh, I picked the wrong date.
wrote out this book this morning, this book of African American quotations. So we're going to go in this book this morning for a quote for Sherry, see how well she knows her people. All right.
Google's that book right now.
Yeah. Google it. It's about a few thousand in there. So go ahead. Anyway, if you haven't already, please subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. But let's just jump right into it. Suzanne Ingham beat us to it. She says, too much flooding. Bakery Lane must have about 5 to 6 feet way above normal flooding. You know what gets me about Bakery Lane, Sherry?
What?
I believe people do it on purpose at this point. Like they want Maya to kind of clip something and show it during her news break. Like they're looking for that like 15 seconds of news break fame at this point. Because I'm just like, how do people know what's popping down Bakery Lane and still go there?
And the thing is, Jamal, when it comes to Bakery Lane, it was now hilarious, right? Because you don't turn into Bakery Lane and it's water, right? You turn into Bakery Lane and you drive a little ways before you get to the water. So you have like some time to think about this. You really have some time to think about this. And then the thought that goes through your mind, because you definitely believe you're going to be the one person that can make it, is unbelievable to me. You're not going to make it. Go around. You can. There's like 3 entrances to where you have to go. There's about 3. Probably the most entrances to businesses in anywhere on the island, right? 3. Try all of them, park somewhere and walk. Like it's not that serious for you to then have this damage. But on the back end, I guess, part of the question is what is it that we can do? Why is Bakery Lane always underwater? Why is Bernard's Park always underwater? Why are certain areas, and I understand there must be some drainage, some creeks, all different types, but it's been going on for way too long.
Well, you got the canals there. I mean, that's why it happens. We just haven't found a solution to it, right? That those areas in particular, you got the canals, the marsh going right from Mills Creek out through, Bernard Park area to the marsh, the Pembroke Dump, the Pembroke Marsh. I think what we need to figure out is why haven't we found a solution? As Sherry said, all these years, we know what it is. I've been a victim back in my irresponsible days of getting a bit, inebriated and walking home down Dutton Avenue full of puddles and rain. And it's just like, we're still experiencing that today. Like it's no excuse. Just 2 months ago, I think Maya reported the government said that the repairs for all of the roads would be $100 million, right? So now it's looked like we never fixed the drainage system. And I'm no engineer. So audience, please, if there's anyone with more expertise on this, I'm just speaking as a member of the general public where it inconveniences us, right? With the taxes that we pay, the least we could do is have a system that allows us to get where we need to go in case of bad weather. So the question of the morning, we haven't even put it up, is what can we learn from the recent flooding on Bermuda's roads? Like, what's the solution to it? When these politicians come knocking on our doors, election time, like, are these the things that we're discussing with them? Sherry mentions Bakery Lane. Is that a public or private road? Is it the responsibility of the businesses in that area to kind of get there and fix the drainage system? Or do they think it's just going to magically happen one day for them? Like what is the situation? But whatever it is, we need to find some solutions. We need to discuss how we can ensure that people don't have to row through Bermuda's roads to get where they need to go.
And we also noticed through different various, WhatsApp footage and forwards that also on Middle Road in Southampton, right? Down by the Fairmont Southampton Princess, and I probably said that all wrong, but Jews Bay and so forth, there was flooding. And those are what they would say what are our main arteries to Hamilton and to work and so forth, right? That's Middle Road. You have so many people that live in the West End. Like, how were they supposed to be getting to work? And say that again, Jamal.
Imagine being on a bike.
And your only mode of transportation. Let's not factor in, I'm gonna say it, These electric buses that can't handle water. So
Mm,
how are we getting to work?
mm,
Like, how are we doing that when we don't have the electric buses will shut down? It's
mhm.
all of these kind of things. There has to be someone of this new generation that can fix this. Mixing in with a little bit of the older generation in thought process. There's got to be a way at this point in 2023, going into 2024. There
Mhm.
has to be a mix of old and young mind in a sense, Jamal, of how can we engineer this situation. And if it isn't, let us know. And in addition, what's the alternative if it cannot be fixed?
Oh, there's a way. We just haven't found found it or enacted and started working on it. Michelle White says, "Hard driving through Bakery Lane is insurance fraud. Hope they don't get a new car." At this point, it's got to be right. Like it's literally like setting your house on fire to try to get it. Like, come on, you know what it's going to be. You
There's
know.
got to be a clause in Bermuda insurance now.
Seriously. Like if you go through Bakery Lane, you will not be able to claim on your insurance. Suzanne Ingerman says, I only saw the videos between the flooding and Belco trucks. Every central parish was blocked, traffic jammed everywhere. You are correct, Jamal. I'm just going to keep saying Jamal as long as she pronounces or spells it Jamal. It's Jamal with an E. There is no excuse. No one wants to take accountability. My hope is that
Yeah.
um, and it's interesting, Sherry, because I saw someone yesterday, and let me be clear, Sherry, and I think I've said this on the show before. The term third world, like I cannot believe people still use that term in 2023. I think it's a derogatory term, and of course, someone used it on the Bermuda election page describing the state of Bermuda right now, overgrown trees, this, that, and the other, right? Well, we all admit Bermuda's not well maintained like it once was, but that term probably isn't the best description at all. So this gentleman, he has been in the US for 30 years, just returned to Bermuda. And he says, I noticed the same thing when I returned. And he said, what I did was I went and I got some tools and I started trimming the hedges and doing this and doing that and da 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 da. And basically, he was saying, like, he didn't say this, but you can take from what he is saying is, look, I had a problem with it. I went out there to fix it. That sounds all fine and great. I don't disagree. Like, if you see a problem and you're able to fix it, you fix it. That's not the solution. The solution is not to do other people's work for them. Let me be clear. It looks good, it sounds good to say, oh, I have this problem, the roads aren't being paved, let me go and pave it.
Right.
One, not everyone has the time and resources to do that. All right? Two, what does this say about the people who are supposed to do it? Three, okay, you've done it. Now, do you expect that that's the norm, the way forward? Folks, at the end of the day, there are people who are responsible for ensuring our safety as far as the roads and, overhanging branches, whether it's drainage system, whether it's paving them. There are people with that responsibility. To me, it's almost like doing your child's homework for them when you start to do the work. Well, your child's going to get A's. Well, I hope they are. I don't know what type of parent some people are. I hope they are, right? But you get my point. Are they really gonna, be earned?
It.
Let's go to the comments. Rachel Dill says, the owner of Pembroke Paint explained the pump system. Well, what did the owner of Pembroke Paint say, Rachel? What they what did they say about the pump?
We want to know.
I didn't see, hear, or know about this. Michelle White says our flooding situation is getting worse. Why? Because the works department is closing up drainage, building walls without drainage hills. It's a work issue. Interesting. Are they? Are they?
Spill it, Michelle. Spill it, because I didn't know that.
She's got the T's. I mean, the tea. She's got the tea. Yeah. But
or the water.
Oh, well, yeah. She's got enough water to make her coffee, tea, everything, right? But look. It's an issue. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and act like what we saw is normal. You saw how much rain we got May through June, right? We knew the issues. Are we as a country that broke where we can't fix the simple things?
Yeah.
And if so, where do we cut to ensure that we have these things?
And the thing is, Jamal, it's not just simple, but it's been long.
Mhm.
Like I can remember, like this has been consistently an issue for years.
Mhm.
And I have yet to see any vast improvement. Like it just doesn't. Where has the evolution of it? Where has the growth from it? Where do we see that we have less water in certain areas? Not completely, but less water. I do see that water tends to go into Bernard's Park Field, right?
Mhm.
And then what happens for that when it's time for persons to play football or do certain things? It's water. When I went there for an event over the summer, it hadn't rained, Jamal, but my feet were soaking wet walking through the grass.
Oh, it's murky down there, man.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So, like, what are we doing? How are we rectifying the situation? I just want somebody to tell me.
Rachel Dill says the pumps are the responsibility of the business owners and basically run off his electricity right now. Well, that's why I said earlier, like, whose responsibility is it? Is it the businesses in the area? If it is theirs, then, I mean, what's up, players? You know? And I said earlier, I don't know if it's a private road or not, but I don't know. Is it, folks? Is Bakery Lane private road? I honestly don't know. But if there are private roads that are impacted, then it is the responsibility of the residents or people in that space. But either way, we have a drainage system issue on public roads. Middle road is public, right? That's public. Michelle White says also the lack of road maintenance, debris is also clogging up drains. The roads were not swept after the last blow and clogs that exist in the existing drains. Sorry, when roads are paved, are they graded to one side? And Suzanne England says Delhi use Bernard's Park too. Interesting. Look, we know we have a problem, folks. Let me just ask one question: yes or no? And be very honest, because it may not impact everyone. Did the flooding in Bermuda impact you last week? Yes or no? Be very honest, because it didn't impact me. Didn't impact Sherry. So we're honest. Did it impact you that much?
But let's just say this, Jamal. If you lived in Bermuda, where you would be necessarily located, would it still have impacted you?
Not based on the job I had before, because I just lived kind of next to my job.
Okay.
But I'm making a point here. Even if it didn't impact you, but did it impact you all? Yes or no? Suzanne Ingham says yes. Polly Rich says no. Tanya Cheeseman says no. Let us know, folks. Did it impact you? Yes or no? Did any flooding impact you directly? No. The reason I ask that is it may not have impacted you directly, that you felt that you had to drive through a flood or anything. But indirectly, it probably did. It probably did. And when I say indirectly, that package you were waiting on, people, you may have needed something from a certain business and that person couldn't make it to work. I really want people to take situations like this seriously, whether you ride a bike or not, whether it impacts you or not. It may not impact my way into work, but it could have impacted the rest of my day and having meetings with people and making stuff happen. If it's the
Your
last
coworker.
going to the bank, and do people still cash checks? Or they direct deposit?
I don't know. I don't know.
My point is, just because the situation doesn't seem as big because you're not directly impacted, doesn't mean it's not impacting your way of life. And what that means is, let's use the gas situation, the Balco and oil. It's not going to impact everyone the same.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who lives on their own may be impacted from someone who lives in a multi-income home. So I think we need to consider when we're speaking about this that, oh, just because it didn't impact me directly, I didn't have to drive through that. I didn't, I got to work on time. It didn't bother me. Don't think that is not your problem. I really want people to consider that, because sometimes we discuss things and people think, oh, they're just complaining about something new. It's real. We're going to talk about the role of local news media when we come back. We're going to bring Maya in for the Monday morning Daily Hour news break. So stick with us. But we've got, real quickly, Michelle White says, yes, at Bakery Lane, they said it's a private road. Okay, thank you. Put a permanent metal graded bridge over the area that typically floods. I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. Suzanne Ingman said the rain on Friday was excessive. She said she worked around it. It was more time consuming, arrived late, but arrived safe. Yep, There you go. Manuela John says, is it that planning permission was given to build on areas that block natural waterways? Well, here in Florida, it's interesting. And the comparison I was going to give is, Florida is basically swampland. I'm not sure if a lot of people know that. Florida is swampland. So everywhere you go, you're almost subject to flooding if you get too much rain, because it's built on swamp. I compare like Bernard Park area to Florida. So everywhere you go, no matter where you are, you're never like 2 minutes away from a body of water. Most of the water in Florida, even if it's a lake in someone's backyard, is connected. And a lot of people know that.
And let me just say this before we, and to piggyback off of that, and my mom lives in Florida. She lives in a subdivision, and or community, and the way that they built it is for the water to drain into the playground. And however the draining system works over there, if the playground floods, at least it's not at the homes.
Mhm.
And so then of course drains out but they built it for that flood reason.
There you
See,
go.
let's connect with people in Florida.
They
Figure
ain't
out what they're doing.
still building wooden houses on beaches down here. Anyway, let's bring Maya in for the Daily Hour news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, MP, how are you?
A good Monday. Love a good start to the week.
Well, it's always a good thing. You don't have to. How do you feel? Like, you're a rider. How do you feel riding in the rain, let alone floods?
I hate it. Not really much to say about that.
No, I mean, but do you still go into work, or would you like say, no, I'm getting a cab? Like, how do you operate with it?
I'm so part of the mindset of, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, because I remember deciding, like, you know what, I'm not going to get on my bike. I'm going to get in the car. And so I had like a neighbor take me to work one day because they were like on their way too. And I was like, oh, thankful. And then a bike smashed into the car. And I was just like, you know what? Things are going to happen the way they happen. And that like kind of put it in perspective, because like maybe if I was on my bike, I would have been able to like maneuver around it or like stop, even though it was torrential rainpour that morning. And I was just like, I'm going to be drenched. But normally I just pack an extra thing of clothes, get drenched, even though I'm wearing all my like gear, and just get to work. Like, at that point, because I know it's like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But I would prefer to be in a car. You stay drier, but you never know what's going to happen.
Indeed. Yeah, you don't know. Well, what you got for us this Monday morning?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Starting off the news is something really happy and inspiring. The bustling streets of New York City have a new, vibrant addition to their iconic buses. Renowned Bermudian dancer Jada Pinkman has become the face of elegance and artistic expression, adorning the sides of the buses throughout the city. Well, this eye-catching campaign is the result of a partnership between Pinkman and the Paul Taylor Dance Company, who are gearing up for the highly anticipated Lincoln Center season. So I got to speak with Jada about, her being on the side of this bus, and here's the image, and here's what she had to say.
Yesterday, I was walking down the street and I saw myself about like 4 times, and it's unreal. And I just feel extremely thankful every time that I see myself on the side of the bus. I still am in shock. But also with our company, yes, we are very diverse, but it is kind of rare to see a Black woman sometimes on these posters. So that within itself as well that's why I think I keep getting a little shocked because you're not used to seeing that sometimes with some other companies, so it is kind of rare now that you pointed it out. Like I don't always walking down the streets of New York on billboards, not all the time. So yes, that's why I'm also like very grateful.
That's exciting, huh?
It is quite excited for her. She says if any Bermudians out there in New York within that time frame that you saw there, I think it was like end of October, early November, to definitely message her, hit her up, and she's more than happy to speak with any young Bermudian who believes that dance might be their passion, their career. She knows that it's a hard career path to follow and to go with, but she says it's not impossible. So,
awesome.
I wish I was in New York because I would actually want to go see it. I'm not into it, but just because, you want to support fellow Bermudians. God has still got a Bermudian accent. She's doing a thing. That excited me. Thank you for that, Maya.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she also said she would love if people like came through because again, and she's like, I don't even have to know you. It's just nice to know that there's someone you're dancing for in the crowd.
Like real Bermudian. I'm like, I know her mama. Oh, that's so sweet.
Exactly. Well, in other news, Bermuda's Pan Am athletes will be raising that flag at the Pan Am Games. Bermuda has been moved from the non-compliance under the World Anti-Doping Agency to a compliant watch list. This means that WADA has given Bermuda before the due date of February 12th of 2024 to change the necessary legislation and become compliant again. Well, the Minister of Youth, Culture and Sport, Owen Dow, said in a press statement, quote, I am pleased that the work carried out over the last weeks has resulted in our being added to the WADA watch list and looking forward to the tabling of the legislative amendments following the reconvening of the legislature next month. So I've spoken to a few of the, athletes headed to the Pan Am Games, as you guys may already know, with many telling me that they were not addressed formally about the situation from the ministry, but were hopeful that the job to rectify the situation was being dealt with as well. And apparently yesterday, I'm just noticing this morning that Earl Basin from Island Stats actually got to do a one-on-one live interview with the Minister Owen Darrow, and there's some updates in there as well. I'll have that for you guys tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah. So continuing on in the sports-related news, I spoke with Adriana Penvadoc, the 23-year-old Bermudian gearing up to compete in her first ever Pan Am Games for sailing, and she had the rare opportunity actually to compete earlier this year in France on the exact same course that's going to be used in the Paris 2024 Olympics, which is really amazing. So I got to speak to her and have a full interview, but here's a quick promo of what our conversation kind of entailed. Thanks again for being here, and also congratulations on qualifying for the Pan Am Games. Can you talk a little bit about the moment that you knew that you actually made it to the Games?
Honestly, I was quite ecstatic about it. I was just very excited to be selected at like such a prestigious event.
Earlier this year in July, you were out in France, so you're kind of like on the track that will be at the Olympics in Paris.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me a little bit about that experience?
Started off at 6 years old. My parents took me out sailing, and I pretty much just fell in love with it. Just loved being on the water. Kind of loved the freedom of it.
Is it scary? Like for the first time that you ever did that, how did it feel? Because I feel like it would be really scary.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Last year was like my first time in the senior fleet.
Compared to something else, like you say that it's different. Like how is it different?
It's kind of like if you were playing chess while like cycling, almost.
First off, just off topic real quickly, folks, if you haven't, just go on media-maya.com. Maya's got a bunch of conversations on there with the various athletes. I don't know anyone else or anywhere where someone's covering the Pan Am Games. And I just hope Bermudians remain interested. Like, don't just holla and jump on board once they're victorious. They need your support to actually reach those heights. So thank you, Maya, for actually taking the initiative and covering the athletes and the Pan Am Games as they head towards gold.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of them are like really gearing up for the Olympics because this is the qualifying rounds, right? I mean, we don't get too many Bermudians who make it to the Olympics, and it'll be really amazing to see them get there. For Adriana, she says she's playing the long game, so she expects for the 2028 Olympics, but she also knows that her work has been getting very much increased even from being in France. She's like, I've done amazing numbers. I've set myself up in these like high standards, and it's just like, it's possible. She's like, it is possible for you to make the 2024 Olympics. She's not holding her breath, but she says it's just that she's going to focus on her skill and just go for it. But yeah, definitely athletes need that support before they even get up there. Like, know that they need to know that our eyes are on them, that, we're watching them, and we hope that they succeed.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Well, in other news today, October the 16th at 12:45 p.m., the Premier David Burke will be hosting a media briefing to provide a post-cyber incident restoration of services update. So that will be, live on the government YouTube channel, so everyone could tap in there as well to see.
Looking forward to it.
And in our sports-related news, some more. The Bermuda Football Men's October 2023 CNL match window has been confirmed, and the Bermuda Gumbays Warriors played an away match against Belize and defeated them in an intense match that ended 1-0 with a single goal coming off the foot of Kane Critchlow. So congratulations to Kane Critchlow for that. The next game will be against Belize again, but home here in Bermuda, Tuesday, October 17th at the Dame Floor Duffy Stadium, and tickets are available at gpass.bm, so you want to secure those to support the team.
When is that game? What date?
October 17th.
Okay.
On Tuesday. Yeah. In the evening time. And then today we're looking at sunny periods with a couple of showers. It says to be more organized later, so hopefully that means either more sun out there, but we have a high of 81 degrees today.
All righty. What you got for days of the year, Sister Sherry?
Well, today is World Allergy Awareness Day. So if you have allergies, this conversation is for you. But the purpose of the day is to be aware of what kind of allergy you actually have. Sometimes we sneeze, we cough, we just automatically take a medication. But this day is about finding out exactly what allergy you have to medicate or do what you need to do for it, particularly and directly, instead of just taking anything. So get yourselves tested and accordingly before medicating yourself. So I'm sure there is plenty of people in the audience that possibly have allergies. It's Bermuda.
Thank you so much. Just want to highlight today, folks, is World Food Day also. And I know we may be thinking that World Food Day celebrates the amazing food that we all enjoy, but it's actually about raising awareness for those who do not have such privilege to enjoy various foods. World Food Day was established in 1945 by the Food and Agriculture Organization known as the FAO, a specialized agency of the United Nations. So how should we celebrate World Food Day? If you're able, just make a donation to a food bank or a charity, visit a farm or a food producer, attend a World Food Day event if there's one near you, and learn more about countries around the world who basically have issues like starvation and the like. So folks, I don't necessarily like to eat, but I have to eat. And so it becomes a thing where I actually eat a lot. So if you're like me, put down a bag of chips and donate a fruit or a vegetable if you can. But find a charity in your area, someone who can use something, and help them to find a way to create their own food, groceries, or the like. All right. Maya, thank you so much for today.
Thanks, guys.
All right. All right. See you later. We'll be back after this quick break.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose Peoples, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it Peoples. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. Peoples, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Rosalind Famous says, side note, love the hair, Sherry. Looking extra cute.
Oh, thank you, Rosalind. Sometimes you gotta let your natural hair out. I don't know if you noticed, it's been shrinking by the minute, but that's okay. It's what happens.
Not all of us have the ability to have our natural hair out, but you know.
You got a little bit old, Jamel. Lean forward a little bit.
Yes, Sherry. Yes. Real quickly before we move on, Sheldon Fox said, unfortunately, water collects in low areas once the reservoir is full or there is no pumping systems to move to other locations. Flooding will continue to happen. There's always a solution, though, Sheldon. Always a solution. Again, not my area of expertise. As anyone says, it's short. It is Bermuda allergies. Allergies suck. Yeah, I don't have allergies, Sherry. So that's interesting. Karen Simmons says, happy 57th anniversary to my parents. The Edwards, happy 57th anniversary. 57th.
Wow.
That is awesome. Congratulations to them.
Yes.
All right, real quickly, just switching gears. So, folks, question is, what do you believe the role of local news media is? So I just want to share something with you. A lot has been said about media bias and only showing, what you want people to believe. Well, we don't do this on the show, partly because we all disagree with each other in a healthy way, at least. Although opinion is the lowest form of intelligence, we all have a right to share our opinions based on what other information and facts make up what we believe. So there's been a lot of coverage throughout the world lately about what's happening between Israel and Palestine. There's been years in Bermuda where one political party felt the print media was biased toward them. We always have people, like there are people who really watch this show, some of you who say, oh, it's unbiased. No, I admit my bias. My bias is very simple, though. And I say it all the time. I don't discriminate against politicians. I don't like either one as if they don't have the best interest of the people at heart. So I'm not going to choose one side over the other if I feel like all they're focused on is getting elected. I said this when we first started the show, I'm an equal opportunity offender. And I'm serious about that. I am not here to make people feel good or feel nice. I'm here to find solutions to the issues in our community through conversation and action. All right. So what do you believe the role of the media is? I can give you my spiel based on my teachings and my learnings and my experience. But what do you think? Here's a little graphic here about the media. When we think about the Daily Hour in particular, I mean, the purpose of this show is to inform, entertain, educate, and really persuade people to think, not to think like us. I definitely don't want you thinking like me, because I don't want you no more trouble than whatever else I get myself in. But the purpose of media is really to inform without bias. So if Sherry and I were talking about the flooding in Bermuda this week, we're here to actually have a conversation with you and inform you that there was flooding on Middle Road, there was flooding, and really give you the information that's coming to us or that we witness and share. As far as the entertainment part, well, I mean, you all might find Shara's short jokes funny. I just think they're abusive. But, we're here to entertain you and also educate. We don't know it all. So through this show, as we engage back and forth, we're educating one another about things we don't know. We are honest about what we don't know. And really just to make us think differently. But what do you think? What do you believe the role of local news and media is? What are your thoughts?
For me, and I believe I've said this before, Jamal, but I'll say it again, is for the media outlets to be as transparent as possible and giving us informed information, meaning give us from both sides of what is occurring, so that we can make an informed decision. That's just how I like to live life. Like, I just want to know all the information so that I can. I know what when it started and we had a whole lot of COVID conversations, Jamal. Like, that was kind of a big thing in regards to how the media possibly portrayed many things. But I just think and it's also on us to seek other ways or other forms of information, right? We shouldn't just be taking, in my belief, just information from one source. I think that you have to look at many different sources and just see what best aligns with what you believe in. But I just think transparency, that's my word.
Well, it's interesting you say that more than one source. I'm a firm believer in that. I remember we were on this show with someone else at one point, and they literally claimed the bias of one station and said, well, they listen to this station and it's not biased. And I'm just like, think about what Sherry just said, audience. If you only consume what you align with, are you really going to have an open mind? You're not. So whether you just watch MSNBC all the time and soak that up, or Fox News or the Daily Hour, like if that's all you're soaking up, I encourage people, go listen to, well, is there anything else to listen to like Daily Hour in Bermuda? I don't know. But I would encourage you to, because at the end of the day, the best way to make decisions is with real information and different perspectives, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch just things that align with me. That's no way to do it. I think we suffer, especially from a religious perspective. We love to believe that what we feel or what we believe is the right way. I hate to tell you this, but it's probably not. It's probably not. That's not to say that you're living a bad life, but I think religion is the best way to explain it, right? Because we soak up what we want to believe, we soak up what's around us and what we eventually do believe. And we think everything else is wrong. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not like me, you're gonna burn in hell, which is probably the worst thing you can say to someone. But those are the kind of things we have to open our minds. We must, if we want to be living in a transparent space. So as far as the media, I absolutely believe that the media has a responsibility to inform people of the facts, not just from one side, but okay, there's an incident that happens. Share the perspective from my angle, I saw it this way. Oh,
right.
Well, her angle, she explained it that way. That's not how it traditionally works, because media has been divided into left and right. And I don't think we as a community, and I'm including myself and the Daily Hour, but I don't think our community holds the media accountable enough. We don't even we know we don't hold our politicians accountable, but we don't hold our media outlets accountable. What we do is just disagree and run on our way, and then it continues to get produced. So let's go to the audience, see what folks are saying. Michelle White says, notwithstanding a personal bias of the reporter or station, yes, sharing media should give both sides of a story. Well, reporters and journalists aren't really supposed to have bias, though. That's an unbiased position, but again, it depends on what you who you deem a journalist and reporter, I guess. Who do you deem a journalist and reporter? And I used to always say, like, people say, oh, you guys are so biased, but we're not journalists. We weren't journalists. There's a difference in reporting news and being a journalist and writing stories versus opinion pieces and sharing opinions. Like Joy-Ann Reid, in her position on her talk show, The Readout, she's a talk show host at that point. She's not a journalist in that. She's sharing her bias, her perspective. She's very clear that she's anti-Republican, anti-Trump. The same with Hannity and Sean Tucker Carlson. Like, they have their bias. They are conservative. They're not journalists at that point. Oops, what did I do? Suzanne Ingham says, you keep it real, down to earth, and we get laughter too. Always awesome. Not all media are honest. Most blatantly lie. It's like they are paid to lie to the public. Yes, the facts, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Just keep it real. Not many media can give that. She raises a good point, and this is part of this discussion we need to have. Folks, this is a delicate balance. And the delicate balance is, how does media make money? Mainly through sponsorship, right? And if there's a big story, let's say the major sponsor is a bank. Well, if you look at the news, the world news in the evening, whether it's Lester Holt or David Moore, look at that news. I'm going to ask the audience, and it's Cherry, if you want to answer, who are the main sponsors? And when you see commercials during the world news, what kind of commercials do you see the most? Think about it. What kind of commercials do you see the most during the news in the evening in the US?
I can't. I don't know, Jamal. Honestly, because I use news sources from online. So
you live in 2023, Jerry.
Yeah.
But audience, let us know, like, what kind of commercials do you see on the news? Because that's a good point Suzanne Ingham mentions, right? She says, not all media are honest, right? Most blatantly lie. It's like they are paid to lie to the public. What kind of commercials do you see on most evening news shows? Think about what she said. It's like they are paid to lie to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. The kind of commercials that you likely see more than any other during the evening news.
Would have been political commercials? Probably. I know that.
Right.
Pardon me?
That's just during elections.
Right. I was going to say that. Is that just during elections? Okay.
No, usually pharmaceutical commercials.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Commercials which spend more time telling you about the side effects than the actual medication and its benefits.
Listen.
Why is that important? She just said most blatantly lie. It's like they are paid to lie to the public. It's a delicate balance because those pharmaceutical companies are paying a hell of a lot of money. So you really think these news corporations are going to report accurate information all the time? Folks, I'm going to tell you what. I want to make money. I want to make sharing money and my money. I want to be able to make a living doing this. But my conscience could not allow me to share information that I didn't believe or agree with for the dollar. Mm-hmm. That's just me. And when you see these kind of, people always say, you got to go to subscriptions. Subscriptions? I love this audience. I do. But how many of you are actually paid members of this show? So that creates a problem of it as well.
Yeah.
So it's tough. We have these expectations of the media, right? All I ask anyone in media, just try to be honest. And we have to understand, some people don't know how to. Honesty looks different to some. But the media has to be able to inform, entertain, educate, and persuade you to think. Some people may say persuade you to think like them. You look at Fox News. I know some folks who watch Fox News, Black people, and they literally echo everything that comes out of their mouth. People that watch like MSNBC, I'm just like, how are you consuming this and not questioning it?
And people sometimes keep the news on from day till night. I don't know.
Someone who did that recently.
You were one. You said you were one that did that recently?
Someone who did that
recently. Oh, okay. I just can't do that. For me, just energy and personality, just the negativity of different things that are I just don't want that, So I do like to be on the internet and kind of pick and go through, but yeah, I don't know.
Because I think one of the things also is not all news is bad news. Look, let me be very clear. Maya may ask me stuff. I have never told her how to do her job. But the way she began her news on a Monday morning with that story, that's psychology. That's psychology. Look at how Sherry and I reacted. That's such a cool story. A Bermudian on a bus. That's a cool story.
In
But
New York City.
Talking about that the rest of the day, Sherry? You think people's going to be talking about that on social media? Why not? Because bad news travels more. Bad news travels faster. We all should be WhatsApping that story from Maya, sharing it with great pride. A population of 60,000 and we're doing things like that? That to me is the role and responsibility of the media. What Maya did this morning in sharing that story and that voice of that young Bermudian lady. That's information. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, I believe we need more media outlets that report the news, especially in the YouTube space. The opportunity is there. It's there. I think what we deem news, though, has to shift as well. What we deem news.
Yeah.
I think, Sherry, just thinking about what you said just now is, made me think that news has become something that everyone thinks is bad, like it's always something that they don't want to hear. It doesn't have to be. This is a news talk show. Our goal and purpose is to find solutions to community problems.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take our final break, come back with the Daily Play. We're going in the quote book this morning, folks. We are going in the quote book. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
Welcome back. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Cylinders, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you enjoyed today's discussions, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Please make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure we're having these conversations beyond the show. Let's make sure that these conversations don't end on this show. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sherry, are you ready?
Sure, Jamal.
All right. This one comes from, hold on, a famous former basketball player and motivational speaker, Hall of Famer. All right? Here we go. Quote, all kids need is a little help, a little hope, and somebody who believes in them. End quote.
Michael Jordan? No? Magic Johnson.
Wow! Go ahead, Sherry, girl. Go on, man. Stop that. Stop that. Stop, second guess. Give it to her. Give Sherry a round of applause, audience. I'm actually very happy. She got that. I'm like,
well, I was gonna go to Kareem. I was going to
you. She said, I'm like, what else other hint should I give her? Yeah, like, wow, right, Mark? Shucks. She. No, I thought you were going to start calling like LeBron and all them, right? Yeah.
No, I was going to start old. I was going to work my way,
Yeah, Magic said it, man. Matt, I like that quote. Magic said it. All kids need is a little help, a little hope, and somebody who believes in them. And that's the difference in people's lives, right? That's support. Let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on the earlier conversation about flooding, and then the media.
Fix it, Jesus. Basically, There's got to be some way for the flooding situations to be rectified. It's been years, and I just would like for someone to show us a plan of how these situations can be fixed. And if it is a private road situation, what is the incentive? There must be something going back and forth between them and government. What is it? Let's just fix the problem. It hinders businesses, it hinders residents. It just doesn't do well for the community. So how can we fix that? As far as the role of media, I've said it before, transparency. Give me all the information and let me make a decision on which way I decide to choose. But yeah.
Yeah, I would say the flooding, just going back to Sheldon Fox, I think there's always a solution. I don't believe if you fix it one here, it creates a problem elsewhere. There's always a solution. People don't become great engineers for nothing. This is a solution. We just have to figure it out and find the resources to pay for it. As far as the media, I take our role seriously. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have bias. I do have a bias. I am against what I believe is wrong based on my upbringing and my beliefs, and I will not shift on that. Again, I'm an equal opportunity offender. I don't choose who I'm going to offend. And I don't wake up wanting to offend. People just got offended by my existence. So, and I'm okay with that if it means that I'm doing something that I believe is going to help us have a better and healthier community. So, at the end of the day, if we want better and we believe we deserve better, we have to do what's necessary to get better. And we only get the media that we allow. Sherry, you've got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. Actually, from another sports person. So the daily inspiration is being brought to you by ER Fisheries and Foods. Today, I'll do what others won't. So tomorrow, I can accomplish what others can't. That's from Jerry Rice.
All right. You know who he played it for, Sherry?
Footballer, and I want to say the Cowboys. But I also feel like I saw him in a red uniform as well, so I'm not sure.
It was the red uniform of the San Francisco 49ers, Sister Sherry.
Give me something. Give me some. I could have picked any color. I said red. I said I almost feel like he's in a red uniform. I can see it.
Just trying it, folks. Just trying it. Yeah.
But Jamal, you have to at least come on. All colors I want to pick. Can't do nothing, but this is.
Sanningham says, thank you for an awesome hour, Jamal, Sherry, and Maya. Have an awesome day. You as well. And don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.